computer. All right, we're gonna record right there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you guys are coming in, let me just undo the chat box right here. I'd love for you guys to share in the chat box. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? From where in North America are you guys tuning in from? Put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. We want to know. Today we're talking about investing in the US as a Canadian. Investing in the US as a Canadian. And Thomas will join us in just a moment. But I'm going to get started with my side of things, my presentation. So I see people from, oh, look at this. We got people from everywhere. Look at this. So as you're coming in, guys, we'd love to know where you're tuning in from. We got wow, we got a lot of people here. Vaughn, Belleville. Look at this. Oh, no, we don't want that. We're letting people in here. Welcome, 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 everybody. As you're coming in, as you're filling up the room, make sure to share with us where are you tuning in from. I got Vancouver, I got Ottawa, I got Melfort, Saskatchewan, I got Elmer, I got Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, New Brunswick, Toronto. I got Edmonton, I got Calgary, sunny Cologne, Caledon, Vaughan, Simcoe, Alberta, Belleville, Ottawa, Toronto, Calgary, Winnipeg. From all over the country, people are curious on how to invest in the US. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys here. We're going to get started in just a moment. And let me pull up the PowerPoint here for you guys. And what we're going to be doing is because at times we get a little bit distracted as presenters. And so I don't want any distractions. So as you're coming in, thank you so much for sharing where you're coming in from or where you're tuning in from. And what we're going to be doing is AI extension. I don't know what this AI extension here. Natalie, AI extension. I don't know how that works. And I don't know how to turn that off. So we're gonna be going right into this. We're gonna be shutting off the chat room just so we can get through this presentation without any distractions. I know that everybody's excited to be here. We got like 40 people in the room. Hey, good to have you guys here. Look at you guys pouring into this room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, more people. All right, I love this. So let's get right into it. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the Great Canadian Takeover, claiming your stake in the US market. And so if you are wanting to invest into US real estate, you are in the right place. As you're coming in, you might notice I've shut off the Zoom chat just so we can have some focus and make sure that the presenters don't get distracted. This evening, it's going to be myself and Thomas. Thomas will be joining us in just a moment. If Ed, are you there?
Yes. I just heard from Thomas. Sorry, he's having some technical difficulties with his laptop.
Okay.
He'll be here shortly. But
Okay,
thank
but tell
everybody
him
for joining.
we're gonna get started. So
Yep, go
just
ahead, go ahead.
just tell him to come in. Thanks, Ed. Uh, whoops. Okay, good. All right. So make sure to mute yourself as you're coming in, and welcome, welcome, welcome. We have different types of students in the house, right? So we have people that are curious about investing in the US. We have people in this room that are investing in Canada and the US, and so they just want to add to their geographical search. we have people in this room that want to live in Canada, but oh, how do you take away this thing here? Ed, we got some hackers here.
Okay.
I don't know how to take it off.
Now you got to remove the annotation.
I don't know how to do that.
Idiot.
Hold on a second here. Stop sharing, and I'm going to make you host, okay? I don't know if you're able to do it from your side.
I'll give it a shot. Go ahead. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, we do want these people to learn about investing in real estate so they don't have to do this, you know? So I am happy that they're here. Every once in a while we get these hacker people, and that's fine. I'm just trying to make Ed.
There's Thomas.
I see Thomas there. Thomas, you're missing it, man. You're missing the whole shebang.
Hey
Okay, here, let
guys.
me see here. Make host. No, remove make host. Okay. See if it works, Ed, on your side.
Yes, I'm the host now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Where are you, Thomas? Ah,
I'm
there
right
you
here.
are.
Can you see me?
We can see you, bro. We can see
Good.
you loud and clear. You know, we just had we it looks like we had one of these little hackers in here. And so
Oh,
we want to make sure we disabled everything. So Ed is helping us out with that. But ultimately, we're excited because even the people that are here to try to stop us from sharing the knowledge from people, Canadians going in and investing in the U.S. I'm happily they're here because instead of hacking, they can learn how to invest. And it wasn't as bad as that one time, Thomas.
oh boy. Let's not go there, Alfonso.
We just don't know how to get rid of the annotation thing. But so, um, Thomas, are you ready to go?
I'm trying to get set up over here. I'm having
Okay.
some technical issues.
All right. All right.
That was one of the reasons my computer's acting up.
What is it doing? When your computer acts up, what does it do?
It doesn't open.
It
Allow it
doesn't
to open
behave?
files. Yeah, it's not a good boy.
Ed, are we ready to go?
You can share your screen.
Okay. And there's not going to be any annotation?
I can't make any promises, but let's just go.
Okay, let's go. Let's see what happens here. I still see the green thing on the side. I don't know how to take it off. Um, yeah.
Also, maybe three dots and whiteboard. Helpful.
Oh, someone's saying something. I can't hear it. Yeah. But it looks like there's a shield, Ed. You can lock in with the shield. You see the shield?
Yeah.
I know that you could use that. Okay, I'm just gonna get going here. So, welcome once again. We're talking U.S. investing. If you are here because you're looking to uh, invest in the US. Maybe you're curious about it. Maybe you want to invest in Canada and the US. Maybe you want to live in Canada and invest in the US only. Maybe you want to move to the US and invest in the US as a Canadian. Well, you're in the right place. We help people in add the US as an additional investment. Uh, Ed, did you see that?
Yeah, go ahead. I just removed sharing. Sorry about this.
I still, if I think I see the annotation thing on the green one on the side here.
That's for host. Just keep going. It's okay.
Okay, so if you are here because you want to add to your portfolio through investing in the US, well, you're in the right place. If you haven't already, what I'm going to suggest that you do, and we do talk about US investing on the pod, the Wealth Genius podcast, we are going on 100 episodes. It's actually pretty exciting this year. We want to reach 1 million downloads. That's our goal for the year. And if you're in this room, you are one of the lucky people that get to know our little secret. We're actually going to be giving away a retreat to one of our ultimate mastermind retreats. And all you got to do is follow us. If you follow any one platform, whether it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, anywhere where you can listen to your podcast, you're going to find the Wealth Genius podcast. And out of the followers, we're going to choose one lucky winner to go with us, actually, to Croatia this summer. And so I want to make sure that you guys can enter. Follow the podcast. Thomas has been on there multiple times. We have all kinds of people that have been on the podcast. Let's talk about the market and where we are today. You know, everybody starts with a plan for life, a plan for business, a plan for investing in real estate. And the plan doesn't always go as planned. In fact, we think it's going to be one easy ride, but the reality is more like this, right? There's a lot of ups and downs and valleys, and there's going to be a lot of obstacles in your way, and you got interest rates, you got cap rate compression, you have cap rates going up, you have immigration issues, now you have higher vacancies. There's all of these things that life is going to throw at you. And what you got to be is you got to be resilient. You got to know that there's no perfect way of investing in real estate. Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And that's what happens, right? You get punched in the face a few times, and that you keep going, and you get punched in the face. You feel you keep going, because at the very beginning, everybody feels like a financial genius, and the ups and downs are expected. The issues are going to happen. You just have to be better. And so you can't avoid a punch in the face. This is Jake Paul. Jake Paul had a plan. He wanted to beat the three-time unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, Olympian. The guy is a monster. Okay, so Jake Paul had a plan, and he got his jaw broken in 3 different places. And so maybe his plan didn't go according to plan. Maybe you shouldn't wish for less problems. Maybe you should wish for more skill. And so the better you get, the more education you get, the more that you improve your skills, the more resilient you are, the more that you understand that problems are going to happen, the more the more that you can absorb a lot of these punches to the face. And so life is going to happen. It's doing its thing. We got the war, we got this, we got that. And Ed, you see they hacked it again. So
Okay, I'm going on it right now, trying to figure that out.
it's the little green thing that you can click on the side there. If you can see it, I think anybody could see it. So here's the issue. We're all distracted right now. There's a lot of distractions. Taxes on, taxes off. We don't know what's going on, right? And we're living through times right now where everybody's distracted. There is social media, there's the Epsteins, and the who's going to perform at the Super Bowl, is Bad Bunny's performing at the Super Bowl. All of these things where everyone is distracted. And while everybody's distracted, what most people are not talking about is that currently we're going through the biggest wealth transfer in human history. The biggest wealth transfer in human history is happening right now, and most people are distracted at all the stuff that the news is talking about. They're not talking about the biggest wealth transfer in human history. They're talking about a whole bunch of other things, tariffs and this and Trump and Trump derangement syndrome is a true thing. Whether you hate the guy or you love the guy, one thing that we can all agree on is people are just obsessed. And so while people are distracted, we are currently living through the best of times. And there's more opportunity now on both sides of the border than there ever was. And that's what we want to highlight here today. We're not saying don't invest in Canada. In fact, we're saying invest in Canada and the US. And so the Great Canadian Takeover, it's all about helping Canadians build wealth in the US through US real estate without US credit or citizenship. And we're going to be talking about maybe something that you've been thinking about for a long while. Is the US a place where you want to invest? And why haven't you already? Well, I'll tell you why. Most people tend to be discouraged because they feel it's too complicated on the other side. You have to have proper corporate structures. There's a lot of complications in investing in the US as a Canadian. And so what we do is we help Canadians invest in the US. In fact, we've been doing it since 2021. And what we want to do is eliminate the border, make things easy for Canadians to invest in the US. So it doesn't become something that is complicated, right? Uh, if you're going to go invest in a different province, you're going to need a different team. You might need a different strategy. And so we want to make it as easy for Canadians to invest in the US as if they're investing in a different province. In fact, what we can do is make the US our official 11th province. That's my little joke. Maybe not people, many people won't be happy about that joke, but that's how easy I want to make it so you can invest in the US. So, what we're doing this evening, we're going to give you a little taste of the glory, a little taste of the action to see what it tastes like. And we're going to go through a few strategies on how you can get started in the US. And ultimately, we're not going to be able to solve all the world's problems today, but we are going to come back May 19th, 2021, and we're going to do a full 3-day boot camp, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, full 3-day intensive boot camp with myself and Thomas Lorini. You're going to hear him present after me. But I think if you are intrigued about anything we shared today, if you are curious, if you want to learn how to invest in the US as a Canadian, if you want to take advantage of all the opportunities that are happening right now as we go through the biggest wealth transfer in human history, well, you're going to want to come to this 3-day boot camp. It's going to be a virtual boot camp right online. You don't even have to wear pants. You can just sit at home and just relax and spend 3 full days with Thomas and I, and you'll get to know real quick why we've been helping a lot of students, hundreds of students, invest in the U.S. since 2021. It's actually when we decided to do all this, and we're excited about that. A little bit about me. They call me the Godfather of real estate. I started my business in 1995, over 30 years ago. And when I started my business, we were right in the middle of a recession. And I always, people tell me, how did you start in the middle of a recession? I mean, back then, if you remember, in 1995, we were right in the middle of a recession. And I remember people saying to me, Alfonso, you can't start a business. We're in the middle of a recession. I remember telling people, I don't know what that means. I was telling people, listen, thank God I didn't know what it meant because it might have stopped me. And so, I got to grow with the economy. I got to grow with the industry that I was in. And I got to build a mega multi-million dollar business all across Canada and the US. In fact, since then, I've built several multi-million dollar businesses. And I think that's the value that I come into real estate with because I have a perspective from multiple different industries. About 26 plus years ago, we decided to become full-time investors. My wife and I, and you'll get to meet her, her name is Helene. My wife and I, we've built a multi-million dollar portfolio across Canada and the US, and we're proud of that. We're proud of the portfolio we've built. We're proud of all the people we've helped. And mostly, I'm not trying to impress you, but I want to inspire you. I came to this country as a refugee. My mom had $30 in her purse. I grew up in social housing. So if someone like me could make it in this way, I think anybody can. And the kind of strategies that we're going to be talking about this evening are things that are all within your reach. Now, when I was 30 years old, I'm turning 49 this year, but when I was 30 years old, I was financially free. I didn't have to work another day in my life. I had sold all my companies and I had my real estate to back me up. And so I made a decision that I was going to help as many people as possible. And I started teaching, mentoring, coaching people, young people. We started the Quadra Youth Foundation. That's the sweater I'm wearing here tonight. This is the Quadra Youth Foundation. And we started this foundation to teach financial literacy to young people globally. It has led me to developing nations. We built a school in Sierra Leone. And so I am here from a position of service. I don't need to be here. I get to be here. I want to be here. I want to help as many people as possible. Since I started about 18 plus years ago, I've had the opportunity of, sharing my story, inspiring thousands and thousands of people. I've had thousands and thousands of students all across North America, and I've created thousands of multi-millionaires. And the reason I'm proud about that is because of the time we've created in people's lives. And so, if you want to stay connected, I'm going to encourage you guys to follow me. This is my Instagram handle. And the reason I share this with you is because I often have people look for me online after they hear me speak. And I counted last Saturday 15, 15 fake accounts. And so there's a lot of fake accounts out there. You know, uh, for example, there's some joker here. There's always people trying to create problems. And I met someone at the airport, and they said, "Oh, Alfonso, I follow you. I've been following you for a while. I can't believe you invest in Bitcoin." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't invest in Bitcoin." He's like, "Yeah. I joined your Bitcoin WhatsApp group." And so, guys, not that I have anything against Bitcoin, but I do not invest in Bitcoin. I would never drag you to a WhatsApp group. Please don't follow anybody online other than this one account. This is the only count that I have. And if you follow me, I will follow you. And so what I want you to do is send me a DM, say, Alfonso, we met tonight at the Great Canadian Takeover. And you send me a DM, you follow me, I'm going to follow you. We'll stay connected. And if you ever need my help at any point in the future, I will be there for you. Also, one of the things that we are investing in is in growing the YouTube channel. And we went to different marketing agencies, and they say it's going to cost so much money to get so many followers and subscribers on your YouTube channel. And so, what we decided to do instead of paying these marketing companies, I'm giving the money to you. And so, we're actually going across Canada and the US. We created a show. It's called The Godfather's Offer, and we're going to choose three contestants from different cities all across Canada and the US. And it could be someone in this room. Let's say you want to invest in Cleveland. I will meet you in Cleveland if you have a deal there. Uh, you will pitch your deals to me. I will come and look at your deals. I'm going to fly to these. So right now, I have about 10 different cities that we're going to go to. And half of those cities are going to be in the US. So if you are in the US and you have a deal, you have something going on, you'll be able to apply to be on this show. And basically, at the end of the show, I'm signing a check. So, well, if I like the deal and you want me to invest in your deal, I have no problem signing a check. And so, if you want to participate, all you got to do is follow follow us, use this QR code, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and maybe you could be on my next show. And if you don't want to be on the show and you just want to watch, we are premiering the first episode. It's going to be June 1st. And so we're committed to about 10 episodes right now, 10 different cities. And so if you want to be a part of it, if you want to participate in it, if you want to watch it, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we're going to share more information as it comes. So you met Thomas, you met myself. Thomas started as my student way, way, way back when. And as the relationship built, we started to realize that we have a lot of common goals, shared values, and I respect Thomas as an investor. And I saw all the things that he was doing. One thing that's unique about Thomas is that he's a dual citizen. So he's a citizen of the US, he's got his green card, and he's a citizen of Canada. So, and not only is he a citizen, but he's a Canadian. So he's Canadian, he lives full-time in the US. And originally, I met him as my student, and we developed this friendship. We developed camaraderie. And in 2021, we decided to partner up and teach Canadians how to invest in the US. And so since then, it's been an incredible journey, hundreds and hundreds of students that we've been able to impact. We've been able to impact lives. These are some pictures of some events that we've had, boots on the ground. The one on the left is in Koreatown, Los Angeles, where Thomas and I had a 18-unit deal under contract. He invests all over the US. He lives in the US. He does a lot of out-of-state investing, and we go to different states because different states offer different results. And so these are the kind of things that we're teaching our students to do. This is Brian and Trevor. Actually, during this trip, we had bought this duplex in Cleveland for $100,000. So a duplex in Cleveland for $100,000. That just gives you an insight on the type of opportunity that exists in the US. Again, we're not saying don't invest in Canada. We're saying invest in Canada and the US. Why not open yourself to a market that is 10 times the size of Canada? Why not? And so US investing is a game changer and can change the trajectory of your financial future. For example, most people don't know that they can get started with minimum funds. Unlike Canada, where we're very limited in the types of deals that we can do, and the price has gone up to a point where some deals don't make sense anymore. Now, I'm a multifamily investor to the core, and I'm investing in multifamily across Canada and in the US. And so I'm still investing in Canada and I'm investing in the US. We just want to eliminate the border. And so if you want to be successful, the key to success is in positioning yourself in front of a wave. And that wave is here, that wave is coming. And we want to share that with you guys here today. Your biggest expense is not your rent, mortgage, or taxes. It's lost opportunities, not taking action when you know you should have taken action. So we've made it easy for students to get involved. And one of the things that we want to do in one of the visions that we have is that we're going to build Wealth Genius and infrastructure all across the US. And imagine for us, imagine having infrastructure and resources. It's all about building a team, having a system and a team, a proven system. And so we've done that. We've built across the US, and we're continuing to build across the US. Currently in Canada, we have about 1,700 members, and we want to build that membership all across the US, is to add to the infrastructure to be able to support our Canadian members and students to be able to invest in the US. This is Manny. Manny built a portfolio of over 100 doors. When I met Manny, he's Canadian. He had a duplex. He didn't feel that he was going to get ahead in Canada, and he had a baby coming up, and he was getting overwhelmed, and so he came to that boot camp that we have coming up in May, and shortly after the boot camp, he started building his portfolio, learning the things, taking the strategies that we taught him at the boot camp, and he built this portfolio of about 100 doors. And so that's what the Great Canadian Takeover is about. Claim your stake in the U.S. market. And so that's what we're doing. Some things to think about. Why the U.S.? Why the U.S.? Why U.S. real estate? Well, it's like investing in Ontario 10 to 15 years ago, where cap rates were reasonably high. You had cap rates in the five and the sixes. You could still find singles and duplexes in some markets, maybe not the GTA, but in some markets in Ontario where it would still meet the 1% rule. You would have better cash flow. Obviously, if you invest in the US, you're gonna experience better cash flow. Lower entry point. So for some of you that have, maybe oh, what happened here? What happened here? For some of you that maybe don't have a lot of capital, and you're looking to enter the market, there are options. If you didn't have any money, you can partner up or whatnot. There's lots of things that you can do. But, for example, that duplex for $100,000, where you're getting $1,200 up and down, that's more than the 1% rule. That's like a 2% rule. And so, you have a lower entry point. With $20,000, you can buy a duplex in Cleveland. And we're not talking about a, an C area. It's like at least a B minus area. So bigger population means that you have more tenants, and that is something that is undeniable, right? You got 40 million people in Canada versus 350 million people in the US. You can't compare the size of the population, and the more people just brings about more opportunity. So we're not saying don't invest in Canada. You know what? Continue to invest in Canada because you are Canadians. There's certain benefits from investing in Canada, but also invest in the US. You don't have to limit your search. Make the US a big part of your search. And when you come to those 3 days, we're going to show you exactly how to search, where are the properties, where are the deals, how to find the deals, how to fund your deals. And that's what we've been doing since 2021. There's a huge difference in size. In fact, the entire population of California is more than the entire population of in the all of Canada. And this is what most people don't realize. The majority of the people live close to the border. If you could put a line across the border, like really close to the border, all the way across Canada, and you're pretty much, if you move the border up, let's say, you know, 300 kilometers or 500 kilometers, you probably take out the half of the Canadian population, right? So most people are actually closer to the US. When I'm talking to my friends back home, in El Salvador, they're like, "Oh my God, Canada's so big. You have so much." But people don't really go everywhere. People just live closer to uh, to the border. The GDP, most states are the GDP is, obviously more than Canada itself. If Canada were to join the US as as the official 51st state, well, the US will be surprised when we would be one of the second poorest states in the US if we actually join them as a state. And so when we talk about the Great Canadian Takeover and claiming your stake in the US real estate market, this is available for anyone that wants to, right? Anybody that wants to invest in the US has the opportunity of doing this. You don't need a visa. All of these things that people talk about, or credit, or everything, things can be established. Will it help? Yes. But most people think about which market. There's a lot of confusion. They don't know what market they want to invest in. Now, here's what I will say. If your strategy of investing in the US is to invest into a market where you want a vacation to, where you want to spend time because it's nice and sunny and it's beautiful, and you have this dream of Airbnb something while you're not there, that is, in my opinion, not the right strategy. You have to invest where you're going to get the highest returns on your money. And sometimes that is not in places that you want to vacation to. And so just because I want to go there and visit doesn't mean that it's a great place to invest. Maybe the cap rates are too low. Maybe it's saturated. Maybe you got issues like hurricanes and other issues that drive up the insurance where it no longer makes sense. I'm not saying those places can't work. But if you want to get the highest return on investment on your money, then you have to have a different parameters, right? And so I want to share with you the best, where the best deals I feel are, and maybe it's not where you think. And so here are my top four markets. And when I say I would have to say that Thomas agrees with me. We've all sat down and we said, these are the top four markets that we're going to be going in on. And two of them are in the same state. So we got North Carolina, Texas, and Ohio. Okay. Um, in fact, I would think that Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio have, kind of moved into the number one spot. Okay, so Cleveland, Ohio, we have a lot of our students that are investing there, and it's not a glamorous place. It's not a place that, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, I want to go to Cleveland." It's not exciting. I always think about if you remember Major League, the movie Major League, and they had the Cleveland Indians, and it was not a great team. It was like, and the way they portrayed Cleveland, you're like, it's a place you would never want to go to. Actually, Cleveland has a lot going for it. In fact, they have a lot of industry. They actually check off a lot of our boxes when it comes to our buyer box and our key performance indicators. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And so these are the exact cities that we're going to go deep into during our boot camp. So when you guys come back for those 3 days, those intensive 3 days, we're going to go in deep into neighborhoods. We're going to talk about all the different things that you need to be aware of if you're entering these particular markets or any other market. Now, another, I would say, objection that people have is that it's too complex. It's too complicated. You got all this cross-border taxation things that you got to think about. And I would have to, agree. But, one of the things that we're going to show you is how to make things easier for you. And you know what really is more complex? Wasting a lot of time trying to figure this out or not taking action. Where we're going to show you how to do this when you come for those 3 days. Doing it alone, you don't have to do this alone. And so we have a proven step-by-step plan. And so all you got to do is follow the plan. Building your US team. The first thing that we're going to show you to do when you come for those 3 days, that boot camp, is a team. How to build a team in the US. How to have the lawyer, accountant, how to have a cross-border accountant. That's going to be very important. How to put together your team, how to find a realtor, everything that you're going to need in all these markets. Building the team is going to be number one. Number two, we're going to help you tap into a system. People talk about OPM, other people's money, but people don't talk about OPS, other people's systems. So what Thomas and I have done is we've built a system that anybody can follow as a Canadian to invest safely in the US. And then the deal structure. How are you gonna set yourself up in the US where there's a proper flow through so you don't have to worry about double taxation? And so we're going to cover those things at that 3-day boot camp that we have coming up. So where are we going to look? What are the types of deals that we're going to look at? Well, one of the markets that we're going to go deep on is Cleveland. Cleveland brings about great opportunity. This is a duplex that was purchased for $100,000. These are students in the middle, Trevor and Brian. They put about $27,000 in renovations. They're getting about $1,800 in rents up and down, and a year later they refinanced it, or sorry, 90 days later they refinanced it at a after repair value of 190,000, right? So pulling out not just their initial investment, but they pulled out money on top. This is another deal, a fourplex for 225,000, and of course we're talking about U.S. dollars here. Because it is in the U.S. But purchase price 225,000, renovations for 2,000. One of the things that happens when you start investing in the U.S., you know you're talking US, you're making money in US, right? Because most people's objection is going to be like, oh, what about the exchange? Well, once you exchange the money's already in US, and you're going to be making money in the US. So they actually did pretty good here. For a fourplex of 225,000. The financing, they had a cash on cash return of 17% and cash flow of $1,300 a month. Now this place, not much to look at, but it does cash flow. So if you're going into these markets for cash flow, and obviously Texas is going to offer more appreciation than Cleveland, Ohio. It's just about the strategy. So when you come for those 3 days, we're going to determine your investor profile, and we're going to determine what your strategy is going to be. We're going to teach you multiple different strategies. And so what's next? Well, what's next is the boot camp, of course. I'm going to talk a little bit about the boot camp, and then Thomas is going to come, and he's got a whole presentation plan. So this is not the end of the presentation, but I know a lot of people at this point, they're asking a lot of questions about our up and coming boot camp that we've been doing since 2021. And these are pretty exciting times, because when we started in 2021, we had no clue that we would see the amount of opportunity that we're seeing in the US right now. And so if you're serious about investing into your first or second or Maybe you've already been investing in the US. Well, this 3-day boot camp is where transformation will happen. It's a 3-day intensive boot camp from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So an entire day. We used to do this in person, 9 to 5, but because we're doing it virtually, we can actually condense it and just go straight through 10 to 4. I think it makes it for a quick day, but you're going to have enough learning to really get started. So, um, this is a live virtual step-by-step intensive boot camp where we're going to help you set up your US investing structure. We're going to help you analyze and pick your market. We're going to find and fund deals, and we're going to help you protect yourself legally and financially. So when you enter the US, it's a completely different ball game, right? There's other elements that you need to think about before even entering the US. For example, we were looking at multiple different properties in Cleveland, and we were looking at this one property, and Thomas and I show up to the property, and there's a guy wearing a bulletproof vest, okay? And it's the property manager. And so I'm sorry, if you show up and your property manager is wearing a bulletproof vest, it's probably not the neighborhood that you want to be investing in, okay? And so there's a lot of things that are very different than the Canadian market. There's certain, I think I can walk in any neighborhood in Canada, and maybe I'm not going to walk there at night, but I feel that I can probably walk anywhere on Canadian soil. There's certain parts in the US that you don't even want to walk in the daytime. And so these are all considerations, right? And so this is what we're going to talk about in those 3 days. We're going to go through joint ventures in the US, how to work with Canadians, maybe to bring them and invest in your deals in the US. We're going to help you how to do this with no money out of your pocket. We're going to help you how to invest into multifamily in the US. By the way, it's not multifamily, it's multifamily. Okay, so if you're in the US, you got to say multifamily. I learned this, a long time ago. There's certain things when I'm speaking in the US, they can catch me. They're like, I'll say things like process, and they're like, you're Canadian, you're Canadian. I'm like, how did you know? You said process. I'm like, how are you supposed to say it? Process, or something like that. Anyways, so multifamily in the US, we're going to talk about the 1031 exchange. You're going to come and learn all about the 1031 exchange. We're going to talk about US investing as a Canadian. We're going to talk about raising capital for your deals in the US. We're going to talk about the BRRRR strategy, the whole idea of purchasing, financing, refinancing, pulling out the initial capital. This is very different than the way we do things in Canada. Different lending institutions, different ways of doing things. We're going to help you build your team in the US, and we're going to go through cross-border taxes. My friends, Thomas and I, we are not professional tax accountants. We're not here to advise you in any way. So anything that Thomas and I speak about on this presentation, anything we share here on this presentation, we are simply sharing our experience with you. And if you are looking to do any of this, you're going to need to work with professionals. But how do you hire these professionals if you yourself don't know what you're talking about? Well, you got to come and get educated. We're going to show you some of the resources and the teams that we work with, and then you can work with those people too. And cross-border taxes, okay? So cross-border taxes, these are something that you want to take pay close attention to, because as Canadians, you don't want to get double taxed. And there's ways of creating corporate structures, okay? Where, again, we are not accountants, but we will simply share what we've done in our experience with you. And modern co-living, which is another strategy that works really well in the US. We're going to go through underwriting. We're going to go through, choosing your deals, finding your deals, key performance indicators, We're going to show you how to get started. And a lot of the skills that you're going to be learning there can be applied in Canada and the US. So it's a full 3-day intensive boot camp, intensive training that you don't want to miss. So you're going to get a 3-day live training. You're going to get our US investing blueprint. We're going to go deeper on a lot of the markets. You're going to get a 20-step walkthrough checklist. We're going to bring professional investors on site to work with you, and we're going to do a portfolio analysis. We're going to do a strategy session, and you're going to leave with a 90-day action plan. You're going to get a workbook. So, for an event like this, a boot camp like this, you're not scaring anybody with $1,900. Because imagine investing $1,900 so you can have access to a strategy where it could potentially change the entire trajectory of your life. It's really a no-brainer. But we want to offer value for the $1,900. We're going to offer a 90-day action plan. We're going to invest into you so you really know how to do this. But we do have early bird pricing, which is $487. So our regular price is $1,900. Right now you'll find early bird price because it's next month, so May 19th, 20th, and 21st. So we also did something that we don't normally do. We've put this in the middle of the week. And the reason we've put it in and I'm just gonna, before I say that, I'm just gonna check. Yes, it is in the middle of the week, 2021. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, we don't have to invade into your weekend. We do a lot of our events over the weekend, and sometimes people tell us we want to spend the week. I wish we can come, but we want to spend the weekend with our families. And so we're all about building freedom. You're not coming to learn how to, create another job for yourself. You're coming how to create true financial freedom through real estate. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something special. And you guys better be ready for this, all right? We're going to do it for, before I tell you this, I'm going to tell you about Pat and his wife, Robert. They came to this boot camp and now they own, by the way, when I met Patrice, he was not having real estate. He was not, he had made some mistakes before and he didn't really believe in it. They both work for the government and now they're full-time investors and they invest all across North America. This is Luis and Tony, both government workers. Were not fond of their jobs. In fact, Luis told me one time that on Monday mornings when he was on his way to work, he would get the worst feeling in his stomach, like he was going to puke, and he was just going to go into a place where he did not like. I don't know what it is. People that work, when I came to Canada, my mom said the best job you can have is to work for the government. I've never worked for the government, but all the people that work for the government, they're not happy. They're not happy. In fact, Luis and Tony both work for the government. They came to that boot camp, they learned, and now they invest all across North America. And they have both left their government jobs and they're full-time investors. And so now they're happy. Okay, now they're happy because they're no longer working at the government. And so this is what we're going to do. I want you guys to write this down. US now. It's actually not US now. I'm sorry. That's not the code. It's US 87. $87 is the price. And I already see the smiles in the room and the thumbs up in the room. Everybody's excited. $87 is less than dinner for two. In fact, bring two people for $87. Two people for $87. I want you to mark down the promo code, which is US 87. US 87 is the promo code to get this offer at $87. And I think Ed, thank you so much, Ed. He put the link in the chat box that already comes with the offer disabled. So we've already put the offer in that link. And here is also the QR code. So you can use the QR code if you want. It's a 3-day intensive training, 20-step walkthrough checklist. we're gonna bring professional real estate investors on site to work with you specifically. We're gonna do a portfolio analysis, a personal strategy session. You're gonna get 2 workbooks, plus you can bring a free guest, $87, $87. And so I think I mean, Feliz Navidad, guys. Feliz Navidad. So uh, take a screenshot, use the link. These are one of these offers that are like it's like Mission Impossible. This offer too shall self-destruct in the next 9 seconds. 9, 8. No, I'm joking. It's not gonna be 9 seconds. But um, we do want to make it exclusive. It is going to be Thomas and I. It is a virtual event, but we really don't want more than 30 people in the room. And so we're going to cap it at 30 tickets. And so either we sell out or this offer will expire in the next 48 hours. Okay. So I suggest, you know what? Why not act now? As you know, you can do it right now, then wait for later. Why push something off for later that you can do right now? And so if you invest and purchase your ticket right now, here's some bonuses. Okay. You're going to get our top 5 US markets for Canadians in 2025 and 2026 has been updated. Bonus number 2, you get our deal analyzer tool. And bonus number 3 for taking action right away, you're going to get our legal entity setup guide. You're going to get those 3 bonuses. And here's the next thing, because we want to make sure that we take away any obstacle. If on day 1 you don't believe it's worth 10 times the investment, you come and talk to me and Thomas, and no questions asked, we'll give your money back, 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. We stand by what we teach, and if you don't feel that you got 10 times the value on day number 1, at the end of day 1, no worries. You come and tell us, we'll give your money back, no stress. And so we have taken away any possible obstacle out of your way. Here's a QR code, $87, 100% money back guarantee. You can't go wrong. And so I already see a lot of you are buying tickets. Congratulations, guys. That's amazing. We're going to have a great time. Again, we're only going to have 30 people in the room, no more than 30 people. So once we get to 30, we close the registration, or the offer expires in the next 48 hours. This is James, my good brother James. Actually, he was already doing real estate. He was happy. He was doing his thing, but he was overworked. He was buying smaller deals. And so he came and got the education. And the first deal that he did after getting his education was a 33-unit apartment building that he bought for roughly about $3 million in change. He changed over all the units, and he turned over 19 out of the 33 units. He bought it for $3 million in change. It was just reappraised at $8.4 million. He made over $5 million. He's 28 years old. And if he can do it, anybody in this room can do it for sure. And so it all starts at this boot camp. That's where a lot of our students started. A lot of the people that are investing right now, we have hundreds of students as we speak. We started in 2021. Personally, I've been doing this for 18 plus years, educating people on investing in real estate. But primarily, I've been doing it with Canadians investing in Canada. And in 2021, we started helping Canadians invest in the U.S. And it's been a game changer for sure. And so the next step is to get enrolled into that boot camp, May 19th to 21st. It's going to be a full day with Thomas and myself. We will both be there. And so the secret to life is in raising your standards, demand more of yourself than anybody else. Having said that, we're going to turn it over to my good friend, Tomas Lorini, the U.S. deal maker. Show me some jazz hands for the U.S. deal maker making his way to the stage. Are you there, Tomas? I don't see you. Uh, there, I see you. You have to unmute
Maybe.
yourself. Oh, Ed, he's probably blocked from we blocked we have everything locked down, okay? And so Ed, you're gonna have to help us unmute Thomas. Um, let me see if maybe he stepped away. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, now you're good. Now you're good.
All right, great,
Take it
great,
away,
great.
my friend.
Yes, you guys, high security over here, blocking everything. Well, I guess you guys do that
You gotta be
in
careful. Those
today's
are
day and
the
age.
sneaky guys.
Yeah, a lot of sneaky guys. Well, thank you, Alfonso. A little bit of technical difficulty. Ed's going to help me in the back end with my presentation. For whatever reason, I come back from Florida and my computer is all messed up. But
It's been
great to
hacked.
be here.
It's been
Yeah,
hacked.
I don't know if it's been hacked. I got so much stuff in my computer that it's like I've reached its capacity. So it's like
Too much
I got my
education.
more memory. But saying that, yeah, we just got back from Jacksonville. I took about 13 of our Wealth Genius members there. It was great. I mean, telling you guys, several times a year, I do these boots on the ground events to, again, continue to add value to the members. We were there for 4 days and we covered a lot of ground. We meet local experts and it was awesome. I'll go into it a bit later, but again, I highly recommend you guys to, consider exploring firsthand any city you're planning to invest in, especially from long distance. As Alfonso mentioned, I'm based in California. Yeah, I guess that's my presentation there. So yeah, if you want to share it, let's go for it. That's basically a quick snapshot of who I am. Founder of Venture Capital. Alfonso mentioned I'm dual citizen, born and raised in Toronto, and moved to California about 12 years ago, and got my citizenship. If you're wondering how I made it on this side of the border, simple. I married an American girl. So for those of you are considering, we've got a lot of members actually, looking to move and have moved to the US from Canada. That's becoming more popular. And there are a number of different visas and things that you can apply for and qualify if that's something you're interested in. But we've got the resources within our network. But yeah, I've been doing this. Investing in business. I've owned several businesses myself for over 20 years. Background mechanical engineering. I got into real estate about 15 years ago, built up a portfolio in Canada, which I still own some properties in Canada. Moved to the US, and I've got a portfolio, a considerable portfolio here in the US side of things as well. And as Alfonso mentioned, we connected just as COVID started, and we started the US stream at that time with Genius. It's been an amazing journey, coaching hundreds of students. At this point, I've coached hundreds of Canadians and hundreds of Americans as well. So, country agnostic, I help as many people as I can. But more and more over the last, I would say, year and a half, I've seen Canadians reach out and wanting to expand their investment um, reach. And why not? And that's our message over the last number of years. Why not invest in the US? You've got this country that's 10 times the size of Canada, huge population, more opportunities. And again, after you'll see in my upcoming slides a little bit more. Ed, if you want to continue through the slides. I wrote a book, launched it late last year, Borderless Wealth. You can find on Amazon. It hit the Amazon bestseller. Basically, again, geared towards Canadians, helping them to invest in the US. So you can find on Amazon. Basically, I summarize A to Z of what it takes to get into the US market. Keep going, my friend. I'm gonna keep you busy, Ed, there in the background. This is my family, my wife Julie, and our three kids. Truly, why we talk about having a strong enough why to push, to motivate you, help you reach your goals, and they are why I do what I do. Keep going, my friend. We got a lot of slides to go. This is my Instagram handle. Feel free to follow me. I'll follow you as well. As long as that's mine as well. I continue other strategies and updates. Post a bunch of stuff on the Jacksonville event we just had last week, but feel free to follow me there. Venture Capital, my investment firm. This is where I invest into multifamily. The next slide will show you a couple of the assets that I own. Keep going, my friend. Those are some of the assets I've acquired over the last number of years. Again, I've kind of leveled up, started off in the smaller stuff, single families, duplexes, but now predominantly multifamily. We talk about this extensively in Wealth Genius, more doors, burst strategy, cap rates, all that good stuff. Keep going, Edward. Eduardo. Yes, mentoring all across Canada and the US. Keep going, keep going. We got a lot. Get to the good stuff. All right, here we go. Numbers happening with or without you. Canadians are number one foreign investors in the US. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You guys need to understand that it's been going on for decades. Canadians are already investing. You probably know plenty of people who've got properties in the US living in Canada. So I want to encourage you, you can do this. The systems are there. You just have to learn them. And with the right preferred partners, with the right team, you could accelerate your portfolio and your investing career. So yeah, I just want to the fear of the unknown for a lot of Canadians. They're hesitant, and it's natural. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. But once you talk to the right cross-border accountants, cross-border attorneys, and you have the right lenders, and you've got the right guidance, and that's what we provide in terms of which market to consider investing in, you can do this, and you can accelerate this at a much faster pace, in my opinion, than what you can do in Canada. Are you sharing the screen? Okay, here we go. Yep, keep going, Ed. Canadians' top foreign investors. Again, 10 times the size of Canada, just the population of California. So more people equates to more tenants, more opportunities, more places to invest, more businesses, more growth. The economy in the US is much stronger. The US is actually, in terms of real estate, we are actually at all-time highs for medium home prices across the US. We're hovering around $430,000 on average. And that's in US dollar. Knowing the market in Canada, things have cooled off quite a bit from the peak. I would say you're a good 20 to 25% down. Again, I still own properties in Canada, so I'm very familiar with where values are at. So in general, these two markets are going in different directions. Next slide. Again, I apologize, guys. I'd be going a lot faster if I had the controls, but again, I appreciate Ed. It's not easy. There's probably a little bit of a time delay as well. So Chapman University here in California did a study of all the major cities across the world for affordability. And what they discovered was 9 out of the top 10 most affordable cities in the world are all here in the US. And that's really important because, you don't know what you don't know. And once you look at this, you can kind of determine, okay, I didn't maybe realize between Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Cleveland, Detroit, Cincinnati, These are all cities that are affordable, and affordability is a huge metric when we talk about genius. Why? I mean, the more affordable, the more the dollar. Next slide. I don't want to. I don't want to.
One thing, Thomas, can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yes.
Thomas? One thing I'll tell you, the US has good real estate, but bad internet. You're cutting in and out at times.
I apologize. I mean, I'm in office. I thought you were gonna say we got. I thought you were gonna say we have bad.
And I don't know what you guys are doing over there in the US, but in Canada, our internet works just fine.
All
Okay.
right, all right, all right. This slide represents, the medium home prices. You guys may not realize there's over 10 US states, not even cities, where the medium home price is less than $200,000. So again, you can see how affordability is drastically different in the US compared to Canada. So you can acquire these, homes, properties for less than $200,000 on average. So that's a huge metric, huge consideration. Keep going, Ed. And again, you can see here the blue states representing housing costs less than 15% of household income. So that's about half the country where housing cost is, a fraction compared to Canada. In Canada, most of the housing cost is about 50%. So again, there's a drastic difference between Canada and the US, affordability being one of the biggest factors. The next slide, if I can go to it, you can easily see the difference between the US and Canada. Canada on this particular slide, which is probably a few years old, ranks 17th in the world in terms of affordability. So again, big difference between Canada and the US. Your dollar goes a lot further. People can afford more homes in the US. That the first column there, price to income ratio. So in the US, it's about 4 times, 4.04. That represents the prices of properties are about 4 times the incomes they make, versus in Canada, it's over 7 times. So that is huge for you to understand. And again, it just shows the disparity between Canada and the US. So the average, keep going ahead. The average home price in Canada is just over $700,000 compared to US is around $400,000. So that affordability again is one of the biggest factors. But if we continue to go through the next couple of slides fairly quickly, reduced exposure to Canadian market is another reason. I don't have to kind of go into too much details, but we've seen the prices of properties come down. So projections over the next few years is that we're going to still see. I mean, we're not going to see the prices going back to where they were anytime soon. If anything, talking to even today, a few Canadians, prices are relatively flat and slow. So again, another reason to consider investing into a market which is growing. And when I say that, it's really important that we're not just generalizing the entire U.S. because it's not a blanket statement. I look at the U.S. as 50, almost like 50 different countries. So it's really figuring out which markets, which cities, and which asset class to be investing in the U.S. But again, for tonight's presentation, between affordability, diversifying from the Canadian marketplace, keep going ahead, and then I want to get into this next section, which talks about the landlord-friendly markets. So if you can jump a few slides, that'd be greatly appreciated. For anyone here who owns property in Ontario, myself included, has had to go through the LTB. It has been a disaster. I'm sure if you've had to face a non-paying tenant, if you've had to face an eviction process, the timeline, the headache, the challenge, what's from damages, what's owed to you. Ed, if you can jump a couple slides, I've got there a bar chart showing, over the last few years, the average rent owed to landlords in Ontario for non-paying rent is over $16,000. So again, huge difference. Keep going. Oh, this is taxation. Touch upon taxation. You can see here. You can see here that the lowest tax bracket. Again, to compare Canada and the U.S., the lowest tax bracket in Canada is still higher than the highest tax bracket in the U.S. So Alberta is the lowest tax bracket. Is still higher than California, which is the highest tax bracket. Again, just shows the disparity and the difference between the countries. Yeah, this is where I want to go. Thank you, Ed. Fast forward a couple slides, and I want to show the audience, the importance. One of the biggest factors as an investor is control and predictability. Unfortunately, in many parts of Canada, including Ontario, it's very tenant friendly. So going through the eviction process and the control aspect is very challenging, very difficult. Ed, if you can flip to the next slide, please. So this map represents all the states in the US, and the red ones are highlighted in red represent landlord-friendly states. These are ones that you need, in my opinion, to really consider investing in compared to the other states. I'm not here to pretend people aren't making money in the other states, but as an investor, you're constantly doing risk mitigation. You're constantly trying to factor in which market is better. So you can see here, there's numerous states which are landlord friendly. And what does it mean? Like, what's the importance of landlord friendly? Well, in my opinion, there's a number of things. Number one, there's no rent control for the most part. So I invest, for instance, in the state of Ohio. There's no rent control. I can set rent to whatever I want. That's drastically different than across the board in Ontario, where you're capped between 1 to 3% roughly annually. So you've got the local or the federal, a system that basically controls how much you can raise rent, and in many times doesn't even keep up with inflation. So in the markets I invest, which are landlord friendly, I can set the rent whatever I want. So if I acquire a building and rents are, say, the tenant currently is paying $800 a month and market rent's $1,200 a month, I can literally raise the rent as long as you follow, their lease, assuming they're either month to month or their lease is coming up for renewal, you can raise the rent to whatever you want. And that's powerful because now when you acquire and you're underwriting a deal, you have a lot more predictability on how quickly you can increase the value. We talk about the BRRRR strategy. We talk about a forced appreciation. Well, that works a lot better and a lot more powerful in a landlord-friendly state. Okay, so the no rent control is a powerful mechanism. Number two, faster eviction process. So in most instances, in a landlord-friendly market, it's going to be a lot quicker. As an example, anytime we have to take a tenant of ours to the eviction to have them evicted, we're talking takes weeks to get them out. In many cases, the people they move out on their own prior to actually going to court. But if we had to go through the entire process of um, going through the court system and then having the bailiff change the locks, we're talking probably about 4 to 6 weeks. That's probably a realistic timeline. It's all based on the court system in Ohio is relatively efficient. We could probably get a court date within a couple of weeks, maximum 4 weeks. Once you win your court case, you could probably set up the locks to be changed within a couple of weeks. Very different, right? For anyone who is investing in a tenant-friendly market. I've had to wait over a year in some instances in Ontario for some situation with tenants. So very little recourse in these tenant-friendly markets. So again, as an investor, I want control, I want predictability, I want lower risk, and that's why I'm looking at investing in these markets. So again, no rent control, fast eviction process, and no lease continuation. We all know if you own properties in these in these tenant-friendly markets, like Ontario or California, once these tenants get in, you can't get them out. So there's even if the lease expires, they're in there indefinitely. That's not the case in many of these landlord-friendly markets. So once the lease expires, they switch to month, and you're not forced to keep them inside. So again, much more control, much more predictability. These are just basic some snapshots. Landlord states that you should consider. They tend to come up in many major um, um, studies. If you want to keep going a little bit, keep going. This slide represents a snapshot of what I was referring to, so you could take a quick screenshot of that if you'd like, or make some notes. But if you want to fast forward a few more slides, Ed, that'd be great. Keep going, keep going. Oh, my first deal. So this is where it all started for me, a single family home. I bought for $80,000 that rented for $1,000 a month. So I mean, there's still plenty of markets in the US where you can find sub $100,000 properties. It's a good entry point for some Canadians, only because it's just lower risk factor, get your feet wet, get going on some properties. $80,000, you put down a deposit of like $25,000, $30,000, and away you go. Is this going to set you up for retirement? Probably not. But, again, getting your systems in place, getting familiar with the market, getting comfortable, building your local team. But really, you'll if you come to one of our boot camps, you can see how we're really focused on multifamily. In a market like this, I think I'm gonna have a couple of examples coming up where I'm acquiring properties. You'll see the price points very soon. And if you can fast forward a few more slides, I want to kind of get to different types of properties, different opportunities. The U.S. definitely the land of opportunities. There's just all sorts of strategies, ones that probably not familiar with in Canada, but are very common in the US. Keep going, Ed. So modern co-living, I mentioned, I just got back from Jacksonville. So this particular strategy is becoming very popular in the US. We saw plenty of these properties where people are renting out individual bedrooms by the week. So you're adding more bedrooms and bathrooms to properties. People are actually even creating purpose-built 6 or 7 bedroom properties with 7 bathrooms in them. And what you're in essence is doing is creating substantially more income. So a property that would normally rent for $1,600 a month as a single family home, you start renting out the rooms by the week, you're starting, you can see on the right side there, almost 4 times more rent it generates. Yes, there's more management upkeep, but at the end of the day, you're creating much more cash flow. So yeah, it's become a very popular strategy. It's really taken over for a lot of the people who were in the short-term rental game, and really kind of like has really kind of elevated within the marketplace. Again, why? The demand. Affordable housing is a shortage all across the country, and people are able to rent out clean, safe rooms for like a couple $100 a week without signing a long-term lease, without having extensive, you know.
I think we lost them.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thomas, you muted yourself. I want to see Thomas. He's. Can you hear me, Ed?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm calling Thomas right now. Is that your mouse moving around?
Yeah, that's me. He's not there. His connection must have dropped.
But is that you moving the
Yes, yes,
PowerPoint?
I'm the one. I'm going. Yeah, yeah, that's me.
Okay, well, we'll see if he comes back. So the top market, so it's not I'll just take over here, Ed, from it. I mean, you can just go through his slides. We do work together, Thomas and I, and we've been building this program for a while, and we do invest together in the US. So we do have our top markets, and the way we choose our market is by, and leave it here for just a moment. We use our key performance indicators. So these are this is pretty much our buy box in terms of choosing a particular market. For example, we look for rising property prices, landlord-friendly laws. It's not the only reason, but it is a reason on why we would invest into a particular market. Lower property taxes. So we've noticed that some of these markets, and it changes from state to state. Some have lower property taxes, which means that they're inviting entrepreneurship, they're inviting investors to come in, and you don't want to. A lot of people, they notice the markets where they want to vacation to, but what smart investors are doing is they're looking at where the U-Hauls are going. And the U-Hauls are not going to your Floridas or Californias. They're actually exiting New York State, like New York City, Los Angeles, these major markets, and they're going to places that are more affordable. Texas was a strong candidate for that, but because so many people have already moved there, it's just gotten really saturated. And so this is why we're looking to other markets. And so you want to see that population growth, you want to see that affordability, because you want to be able to grow with the population. As the population grows, you're gonna experience some cap rate compression. And that's another profit center that a lot of people don't talk about. Affordability, job market. So obviously, real estate is all about jobs. Jobs. People are attracted by jobs. And so they go to the markets where they have jobs. And Ohio happens to be one of those markets that is investing into infrastructure, manufacturing, and it just happens to have a lot of job growth, and then rising rents. If you go to the next slide. So this is so Thomas and I, we've got together, and it's not going to surprise you because this is the same list that I have, except that he has Cleveland in number one, which I say Cleveland, and I would say Cleveland and Columbus being number two, North Carolina number three, and Texas number four. Believe it or not, when we started this back in 2021, we were saying that Texas was number one, and so it's moved into the number four slot. We're just bullish on Ohio, Cleveland specifically, and we're actually doing a boots on the ground event in Cleveland, and we're just really bullish on it. Go to the next slide. And see if you can call Thomas, see what's going on. Maybe he lost his maybe he's losing his, you see, the US doesn't have, so this is where the US cellular service is best. Let's go to the next slide. So top housing markets, if you look at actually Cleveland, Ohio happens to be one of the top. I haven't seen these slides yet, but it doesn't surprise me. Affordability is a key factor in Cleveland. You can find some amazing singles and duplexes in like B and B minus areas for like not even 100,000. And so that affordability is a factor. U-Hauls are going towards a lot of these markets. Let's go to the next slide. This is the perfect places to do a burst strategy. This is an example, a case study from a project. Total invested about 97,000. By the time they refinanced it, so they did a full burr on it. The after repair value was 307,000. They pulled out $112,000 from this deal. And it was all in US dollars. Next slide. Yeah. So this particular deal, I don't know much about this deal. This must be a new slide that Thomas has in there, but these are the kind of, oh no, go back to it. I just want to make sure we highlight this. So this is an example of a deal of one of our, I'm sure this is from one of our students. Purchase price, $52,000, $52,000. Now, it must have not been in good shape because there's a rehab budget of 127,000, and you see the carrying costs of 14,000. So total cost is about 197,000. They paid off the rehab loan, and they got reappraised at 310,000. And so the profit is about $112,000 on this particular property. Pretty, I don't know many deals in Canada where you can pull this off. So this is incredible. Next slide. This deal I know very well. It's a deal in Cleveland, and $55,000 a door. $55,000 a door. I mean, I don't know what you're buying in Canada for $55,000. I mean, you can't even buy a parking spot for $55,000. And so this was, I know they just did a recent refi on this. And when you come for those 3 days, we're going to go through in detail, how that happened. Next slide. This is a deal in eightplex for 450,000. And I've actually been in this eightplex, and it's the units are huge. So each unit is about 1,400 square feet. So these are big units. It's each unit has 2 bedrooms, 450,000. They got an after repair value after doing slight renovations of $700,000 within about a year and a half. So that's the lift that you got, and it happens to be across the street from that other 36 unit building that you saw at $55,000 a door. We do a lot of boots on the ground where we go on site and we show you all of these properties. Go to the next slide. This is a 24 unit apartment building. When you come to so we're gonna talk about a lot of the strategies that we're using, and this is a complete burr, and so you'll see how they burred this building, 24 units. Go to the next slide. Okay, here's what we have on the side here. So 1.3 million, $56,000 a door, and they got a massive lift of close to $1 million. And so landlord friendly market. And so what in the world are you going to be able to buy for 1.3 million that brings you rents of $26,000 a month? I mean, I don't know what market you're going to be able to do that. Now, this particular one, it was a strategy, and very different than Canada. So in Canada, you kind of stay away from social housing. A lot of people, they find the tenant profile is very problematic, and actually the governments don't do a good job in facilitating that social housing piece. And so a lot of people are just kind of afraid of it. Not that they're wrong in any way, but they're just afraid of it. They don't want to deal with some of the issues that come along with dealing with social housing. And it's kind of a shame because in the US, they have Section 8 housing. And so Section 8 is these are vouchers that people get for housing, and they pay more than the market rents. And so you don't have to do the entire building. Maybe you choose 3 to 4 buildings where you're going to do Section 8, and you can increase the rents by, probably another 25% more than the market rents by getting these Section 8 vouchers. And so we're going to go through a whole detailed uh, training on Section 8 and how to work with Section 8. And this particular building, this is Thomas's deal here, and I know he used Section 8. Next slide. All right, so this is 38 units on 2 acres, purchased August 2023, $50,000 a door, and the rents are $31,000, and they have a projected rents of $40,000 a month. What in the world? What deal are you going to be able to buy for 38 units at 1.9 million that you're going to bring in $40,000 a door? So these kind of things we just don't see in Canada. These types of deals. Let's go to the next one. By the way, these are not in like C neighborhoods or E neighborhoods. They're in B minus to, if you have a B minus asset, turn it into a B plus, you have a really good asset. 11 units, they closed this March of last year, 695,000. Current rent's about 8,300. Projected, they're going to do a lift of to 10,500. Next. So here's the roadmap. Number one, you got to start. You got to start somewhere. So you got to commit to exploring the US investing. Everything's going to start with education. I know a lot of you already bought tickets. I'm looking here. We're almost at 20 tickets, so that means there's about 11 tickets left. So congratulations. I'm really excited. Learn how to do this. That's what we're going to do when you come. And then after you learn, you got to take action, step up your team and grow your portfolio. Next slide. Don't let borders limit your wealth. Canadians are taking action today. I don't know what happened to the internet on the US side, but I can tell you that you can unshare now. I'm going to share my if you can let me share. And here, let me see here. Let me share here. I'm going to leave this up here. One thing that I can tell you is that the real estate is good, but the internet, I don't know if the internet's so good in the US. Something's going on with Thomas's internet. But having said that, Thomas will be back for this 3 days with me, and we promise you he will have good internet the whole 3 days. But sometimes these technical things happen. That's what the world of virtual is. Sometimes we don't know what's happening with the internet in California. That's where he's at right now. So it's a 3-day intensive training that we're going to go through. You're going to get a 20-step walkthrough checklist, and we're going to bring professional real estate investors on site. They'll be working with you specifically, one-on-one, and they're going to be we're going to be doing a portfolio analysis. We're going to do a personal strategy session, and you're going to leave there with a 90-day action plan. We'll have 2 workbooks. You'll be able to bring 1 guest. You get the 100% money back guarantee, and all for $87. And I don't know if you can beat that. That's one hell of a deal. What we've done is we've removed a lot of your obstacles and made it very doable for everybody in this room. And we want to thank you for being here with us. Congratulations to everybody that that got their tickets. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. Ed, would you be so kind in sharing the link in the chat box? It looks like actually, yes, we just hit 20 tickets, so 10 more tickets to go before we close the registration. Congratulations to everybody that bought tickets. You can use the link where it's already where we've already disabled the offer. $87. If you remember the promo code, if you're gonna use it later and you come back to it and you somehow don't have the link, well, all you got to do is go to US. There's a discount area. You go and type in US 87 and it will do the discount for you. So write down the promo code if you did not buy your ticket right now. But we have about 10 more tickets left that we could sell, or the offer will expire in the next 48 hours. Some of the questions that people have is, is it are there going to be any breaks during the 3 sessions? Actually, we encourage people to show up with snacks and their food close by. We actually go straight from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason we do that is because really it's virtual, so we can actually compress time, make it really make the best use of our time, and so we don't have to have breaks and this and that and other. But we will have breakouts. You will have the opportunity to meet with our specialist right there on site one-on-one. These are the bonuses. Top 5 U.S. markets for Canadians in 2025, the deal analyzer tool, and the legal entity setup guide, along with the 20-step walkthrough checklist, all for taking action right now. Sometimes people ask us, are you able to invest in the U.S. if you didn't have a U.S. citizenship? Absolutely. You do not need a U.S. citizenship. You do not need U.S. Credit. In fact, there's lots of lenders that we have, and there's a lot of lenders that are willing to lend to Canadians as foreign nationals. There's actually more U.S. lenders that are willing to lend to Canadians than actual Canadian lenders lending to Canadians. Imagine that, meaning that there's a lot of capital in the U.S. And so, looking forward to seeing everybody. Oh, there's another one. 21 tickets. All right. So 9 tickets left. Good luck, guys. At 30, we shut down the registration. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the boot camp. I'm going to leave you with this last thing here. The secret to life is in raising your standards. Demand more of yourself than anybody else, because this is your life. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the boot camp May 19, 2021. We will see you all there. Thank you very much. Alfonso loves you, and we will see you at the top. And you'll also see Thomas as well. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.